The League One history books will forever show the 2021 season began with a New England Revolution 2 victory, but Week 2 brings a new challenge in the form of a Richmond Kickers squad hungry to start their season with a bang. From Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and very happy to be with you this evening, I'm Joe Malfa for this game brought to you by United Healthcare. New England Revolution 2 began the season with a 1-0 victory down in Fort Lauderdale against Fort Lauderdale CF. It was a game in which they were good, they were lucky, and they were timely. The good here from tonight's Santander player to watch, Ryan Sierakowski gets the goal to put them up 1-0, and they'd see it through the rest of the way, but a lot of help from the post, a lot of help from goalkeeper Joe Rice, who had a stellar game, and then help from a weather delay that helped them refocus in the end. Joe Rice had to deal with a lot from Fort Lauderdale. They had 20 total shots in the match, and the post, well, the post got involved twice, once in each half, and Joe Rice needs to send a gift basket to the posts on the goals in Fort Lauderdale. In the end, that weather delay in the second half helped them refocus defensively. With the help of Presley and the rest of the guys, they see the 1-0 victory over the finish line. Now, Richmond beginning their 2021 season. We take a look back at 2020 first, with Darren Sawatzky taking over as the head coach. He helped them get up to 4th after finishing 9th in 2019. And the league MVP and Golden Boot winner, Emiliano Terzaghi, helped them get there. Sawatzky said he wanted to unleash him, and that he did. They struggled down the end with Ian Antley being lost to injury. They lost 4 of their last 6 games. So hoping to right the ship here in 2021. They get things going on the road against New England Revolution 2 here in Week 2 of the USL League One's season. Richmond Kickers visiting New England Revolution 2 after the break right here on ESPN+. Few moments away from the action here at Gillette Stadium. Joe Malfa with you on ESPN Plus for this one again, presented to you by United Healthcare. A look at Darren Sawatzky now and then. He was a member of the New England Revolution going back to the 96-97 season, now returning as the head coach once again of the Richmond Kickers. Not the only one making a return. Robbie Ukrop, chairman of the Richmond Kickers, played one season with Sawatzky at the end of 96 for New England. And this is how the Revolution will line up today against the Kickers. You have 3 guys from the MLS side down today. Edwards, Mafla, Caicedo, mixed in with guys who all started last week. So some new faces and many familiar ones for New England, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. On the flip side, Ian Antley, one of the guys who drove the bus for Richmond last year. When he went down, they lost 4 of their final 6. He is back in the starting lineup today on the left side. more familiar faces from last year. Fitzgerald is always in goal, but the two new Argentinians in Moran and Gonzalez joining the one who won league MVP last year, Emiliano Terzaghi. Those three guys will be a handful for New England to deal with today. Thomas Snyder in charge of the whistle in this match. New England, one win already last week against Fort Lauderdale. Richmond hoping to get in the win column today in their season opener. Kickers will be in those light grays going from right to left. And New England, their traditional blue tops, red bottoms at home from left to right, with Justin Rennicks set to get things underway. A look at the injury report brought to you by Shields Healthcare Group. 4 guys out for New England, just 2 for Richmond. We have League One soccer once again from Gillette Stadium here in 2021. Bit of a new formation for New England this week. Last week they lined up at a 4-4-2. This week they tweak it a bit to a 3-5-2. Part of that has to do with the MLS guys who they have in the lineup this week. And that's going to be something that Clint P.A., head coach of the Revs, has to deal with all season long. With restrictions eased a bit this year in terms of fluidity from MLS to USL and then the academy upwards, there's going to be a lot of new faces each week. It'll be interesting to see how they mix in with the group, but 3 new guys today. One of them on the ball there, 27, Caicedo. Finds Rivera, one of the key components of this team last year that did so well down the stretch. After Justin Rennicks was added into the equation, they won 5 games and had 1 draw down the stretch. Rennicks had 3 game-winning goals in those games, taken down here. No call from Thomas Snyder. Physical play early on. And unlike last year where we saw nobody in the stands here at Gillette Stadium for these League One matches, you do see fans back in attendance. Today we're being told that it is family and friends of the players as well as employees of the craft organization who had the right to claim tickets if they wanted it as the stadium starts to ramp up its capacity. Bit of a test run today, and those are the lucky members who are in attendance. Caicedo switched to Quinones. Just turned 18 3 days ago, Colby Quinones, the academy product who signed his contract last year to join the Revs 2 side. Started 13 games. Rennicks tries to latch on the end of this one. They head her back from Antley. But the veteran Akira Fitzgerald on it. Fitzgerald this year will be in a bit of a different role than what we've seen the last couple of years as the main starter. He's going to split time, it appears, with Austin Avisa, who Richmond was able to pluck from Orlando City B. Fitzgerald also the goalkeeping coach, so he is transitioning into a player coach type of role. At this stoppage, a look at the keys to the game brought to you by Geico. For New England, haven't we met, as I alluded to before, 3 new guys in the lineup this week. It's going to be a revolving door as the season goes along of new guys being mixed in with the core group. And then for Richmond, the tank, the machine, and the MVP. What does that mean? Well, those are the 3 Argentinians. The tank, Hernan Gonzalez, the striker. The machine, the midfielder, Zaka Moran. And the MVP last year, Emiliano Terzaghi. How will opposing teams handle the 3 Argentinians? Head coach Darren Sawatsky last year kind of gave us a sneak preview of a little pipeline that he has to Argentina. It was just Terzaghi. He told us he would unleash him. He did, to the tune of 10 goals, the Golden Boot, and the MVP. How will the other 2 Argentinians now look in the fold? New England controlling much of the early portions of this one. Sierakowski taken down now. He scored the lone goal, the game-winning goal last week against Fort Lauderdale. Sierakowski, the 24-year-old from McHenry, Illinois. Tremendous career at Michigan State collegiately, and then has spent the last 2 years in USL Championship. High pressure from New England. Richmond last year not really known for being a field out of the back type of team. They're content with letting the other team capitalize on the possession, sit back, wait, and find your moment to counter. But Darren Sawatsky did mention with the new faces in the mix this year, particularly Gonzalez and Moran, that they would like to buck that trend a little bit and start to have some more possession here or there. They don't want to get away from the identity that made them what they were last year. Foot race. That's won by Earl Edwards. Always seemed as if he was getting there. But in the end, Bolaños made it a little bit more interesting than we thought it was going to be. Player of the week, Sean O'Hearn, deals with it at the back, and now all the way back to Earl Edwards. Again, one of 3 MLS guys playing today with the Revs 2 squad, in need of some minutes ahead of the start of the regular season. Presley playing a different position than he did last week. Finds Quinones out wide. Some contact on the left side from Juan Pablo Monticelli, the other player, in addition to Austin Aviza, the backup goalkeeper that Richmond plucked from the Orlando City B roster this year, as Orlando City B no longer part of USL League One. Say goodbye to OCB, but we welcome back Toronto FC and North Carolina into the fold this year as we get back up to 12 teams. After playing last year at 11. That was due to last year Toronto, with border restrictions, being unable to compete. This year they're making it work. They'll be in Arizona a bit, they'll be in Orlando a bit, and they'll hope to be back at home north of the border sometime in the summer. See the brace on the right leg of Caicedo. Returning from injury, torn meniscus cost him all of 2020. One of those guys in need of minutes here at the League One level before he is back with the MLS club. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of USL Championship, League One, and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. All the way back to Francois Dulis. Quinones on the right, sends Presley into some space. Flag stays down. At the end line, ball sent in and headed away by Magalhaes. Last week, New England started its match against Fort Lauderdale very slowly. Struggled in the early going, woke up at the half, and then needed a second break due to a weather delay to help refocus once again and see that game over the final 10 minutes. Lozansky sprays wide. Mafla sends in the ball. Richmond effective defensively so far. Bolaños touches it past Caicedo, and Caicedo doesn't take too kindly to it, takes him down and commits the foul. New England was outpossessed 58-42 last week, and Fort Lauderdale attempted 20 total shots, just 1 on target, and they hit a couple of posts. New England just tried 5 shots of their own, 2 on target, 1 found the netting. Again, courtesy of Ryan Sierakowski, the winner last week. Monticelli manning this left side. That was manned by Antley last year. Throughout last season, though, Sawatsky had noted that Antley more of a right back, but with the way their player mixture was, just fit better on the left. Now to his more natural right side this year. In possession of it now. Jake Rosansky, a late addition to this New England squad, signed at the end of March. Finds Sierakowski. Not on the same page with Presley. Mentioned the late signing of Rosansky. He came right in and earned the captain's armband within 2 weeks, serving as the captain in each of the team's first 2 matches this year. Clint P.A. could not speak highly enough of the way Rosansky came right in. Young guy, but a veteran for as young as he is. 24 years old, has spent 3 years professionally playing in Israel, and a very successful 4-year collegiate career at 2 powerhouses at the University of Virginia and the University of Maryland. Over the top to the tank, Gonzalez. Bolaños. Last year's MVP, Terzaghi. Oh, that's one from distance, but good slide in from Caicedo. Deflects it with the left foot. Ball sent in. Gonzalez under it, heads towards frame, and Earl Edwards is there. Chatting with the staff of the Richmond Kickers in the last couple of weeks, they're excited to see what Terzaghi and Gonzalez can do together. Fellow countrymen, the Argentinians, might have a friendly competition as the season goes along in terms of their goal-scoring output. 2 very dangerous offensive players. Terzaghi more of a distributor, Gonzalez more of a goal scorer, but they can play off of each other very, very well as this season goes along. And Darren Sawatsky, for as good as Terzaghi was last year, thinks he can be even better this year. Something for Clint P.A. to figure out as this game goes along. Part of the reason for that, Sawatsky believes, is that Terzaghi spent the entire offseason in Richmond. He did not travel back to Argentina, didn't want to risk getting caught with any travel restrictions as COVID continues to progress throughout South America. So he stayed in Richmond, got a lot of extra work in. The last few weeks of the season, he was a shell of himself from what he was earlier in the season, and Sawatsky was blunt about it. He was targeted by the other teams. He was the best player in the league, won the MVP, won the Golden Boot. Teams were keying in on that. He was getting hacked game after game, and it took a toll on him. He was not 100% towards the end of the season. But now with Gonzalez in the fold as well, he doesn't think teams will be able to key in on Terzaghi as much, and it'll free him up to do even more than what he did last year. And that's a scary thought for the rest of the league after his 10-goal Golden Boot MVP performance. Whistle to stop it here as Thomas Snyder wants to chat with somebody. A lot of jersey pulling going on in the box. Terzaghi demonstrating, not giving the referee a hug there. Seems like Rosansky and Terzaghi, the two with the disagreement. Dueling number 32s in this one. Now the delivery, no whistle this time. Shouts for handball. No call for the handball, but it is last off of New England for a corner kick. Jonathan Bolaños out to take the corner. led Richmond in crosses and was third in chances created last season. Sends it in, headed away. Right back in from Zaka Moran. Magalhaes, Terzaghi turns and nearly has his first tally of the 2021 season. Buzz around the league of excitement among fans to see what Terzaghi can do this year. Last year, we saw what he did in 16 games. Now he's got 28, and he doesn't have to deal with a lot of games in rapid succession. Last year, Richmond, towards the end, besides the injuries that started to add up, they were playing a lot of games in a short span of time due to COVID cancellations from earlier in the season, none of which were on their end, just unlucky with the opponents that they were facing. So now add more rest into the equation, add some more help up top with Gonzalez, and add 12 more games, and no telling what the numbers can say at the end of the year for Terzaghi. Matthew Bolduc drawing the ire right now of Thomas Snyder after that tackle. O'Hearn chested down into the path of Rivera. Full head of steam on his right foot. Damian Tico Rivera sprays out wide. Sierakowski cuts it off. Seemed like it was supposed to be going to Quinones. They'll reset. Caicedo. Presley. And Monticelli does well to shield him out. Quarter hour gone. Joe Malfa here with you on ESPN+. Glenn P.A. was unsure of how this team would look in terms of the chemistry with, again, new faces in the fold this week. And Christian Mafla and Luis Caicedo. But so far, they look to be on the same page. Maybe an errant pass here or there, but nothing too egregious. He knows it's part of the job. He talks with Bruce Arena, MLS head coach of the New England Revolution, daily. Always talking about which players are ready to come up, which guys need to be sent to the League One side for some extra minutes. Very in tune with each other. And they are in Chicago to start their season. The MLS side kicks at 8:30 tonight. That's why we have this 5 o'clock start on a Saturday. Did not want the games to conflict. Imagine that Bruce Arena is somewhere watching, or has his eye on this game, or we'll get together with PA and talk about it this week, especially with the MLS guys in the fold tonight. Caicedo and Mafla, two guys who could make an impact on the MLS roster this season. Earl Edwards, the backup goalkeeper, behind a man who has been a finalist for goalkeeper of the year each of the last 2 seasons, Matt Turner, who, by the way, is a former Richmond kicker, so plenty of cross-pollination in this game between both of these franchises. Terzaghi stepped on the back of the foot of Rosansky there. Thomas Snyder didn't blow the whistle initially, thought about it, decided to in the end. Giving Terzaghi a warning here. We saw those guys chatting it up a few moments ago before that free kick for Richmond. They were the reason why Snyder blew that play dead and made them retake the free kick as he went to have a chat between Rosansky and Terzaghi. Something to monitor as this one goes along. Monticelli looking very strong in the early stages. A couple of times now he's gotten the better of Presley. Rosansky nearly touched that one too far. Terzaghi there, but Rosansky able to get it out wide. Over the top to Quinones, but too much over the top. and Victor Falk, number 6 and 23, respectively, in the midfield. They are going to be forming an essential duo for the Kickers. Sawatsky keyed in on the relationship between those two guys being of the utmost importance as this season goes along. Gonzalez takes it down with the chest. Bolaños finds Falk. Back to Bolaños. 20th minute here at Gillette Stadium. Bolaños end line in front. Edwards got a hand to it. New England trying to clean up the mess. Still not out of the woods yet. Take a look at the NL replay for the first time this evening, and for the first time here in 2021. Bolaños forces Edwards to spring into action. A couple of guys in the area to help out for the Revs. Gonzalez just pestering that back line early on. Starting to get a glimpse at why he is nicknamed the Tank. Big-bodied forward. Richmond starting to resemble more what we saw from them last year. Content to let New England have the possession. They'll counter when they can. They'll play over the top when they do have the ball. Battle between Rennicks and Magalhaes. Haven't called Rennicks' name a ton, but at any moment that could change. And things changed in a big way once he was introduced to the squad last year with 8 games remaining. O'Hearn looking forward for Presley. Fitzgerald just has to knock that one out for a throw at the last moment. Pops out of the box, could not pick it up. These teams met twice last year. Richmond won 2-1 the first time, and that was here at Gillette Stadium. Bolduc served up an assist to Emiliano Terzaghi in that one. And then late in the game, Richmond able to take the 2-1 lead that they were able to hold on to. Monticelli heads it clear. Caicedo back into the mix. Presley picks his head up. Has some space. Can't get the ball in the middle. Quinones tries. He can. Rennicks. And it's out for a corner kick. The second time these teams met last year, totally different. As we get set for the jet blue corner kick. New England went down to Richmond and just dominated that game 4-0. So neither team comes up with a home victory last year. New England hoping to do so today. Brzezinski providing support for the short corner. Out to Bolaños. And that opportunity on the corner very quickly gone by the wayside. Quinones wins it. Back to Presley. Brzezinski back to Quinones once more. Mafla, the nice turn. Waiting for some help, finds it, nice give and go. Mafla on his left foot has a shot blocked by Magalhaes. Christian Mafla, the 28-year-old Colombian, has spent 10 years in South America, 5 years in Colombia's top division, 6 different teams. This is going to be his first MLS season, signed in December from Atlético Nacional in Colombia. And Quinones whistled for the foul. Oh, and immediately a signal for a substitution over the sideline. Right away, the signal was given to be subbed out. Take a closer look at this one. It's Antley again involved. Seemed like it was just his right leg caught up in the ground on the NL replay, and it didn't take long before he looked over to the sideline and gave that signal with his hand. Oh, you hate to see that, and you hope it's not too serious. Suffered a nasty knee injury on September 26th last year in a game against Omaha on the road. After that game, Richmond took a nosedive, losing 4 of their final 6 games. Hope that he can continue. Keep an eye on it. He did initially signal right over to the bench and give the substitution sign. And there it is again, the signal for the substitution. So 25 minutes into the first game of the season. Richmond excited to have Antley back after the knee injury cost him the last month of last year. Unfortunately down again with another injury to his leg. Now before he ducked below the boards on the far side, it looked like it was Luke Pavone who was getting set to come up and come in. Had ditched a warm up top. Will be interesting to see how that shuffles the lineup for Richmond as well. If it is Pavone, not a natural defender, as Antley is. Nobody else out on the field right now for Richmond is a natural defender who you could see sliding back. You wonder if maybe Sawatsky, after seeing how the first 25 minutes have gone, has a change of heart in how he wants the formation to go as well. Strong step, but too strong as Rosansky is called for the foul with Moran, the victim. And it looks like the substitution has been made. It is Luke Pavone who checks in, so very curious to see how this changes things for Richmond. Substitution brought to you by Santander. Pavone, not a natural defender. Perhaps he does just slot in on the right side. That's where he's standing now. Maybe more attacking minded on the flanks for Richmond with the insertion of Pavone. Ball lofted in, headed away. Falk rushing for it. Chrysler steps up, takes a shot from distance, and it's high and wide of the net. Don't miss any USL League One action in 2021. Follow the league and your club all year long by searching for New England Revolution 2 on ESPN.com. Search for them, click the follow button, and keep up with the latest news and scores, plus get reminders on their next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. With Pavone into the match, a reminder that the 5 substitution rule is still in effect this year. And something we will discuss at halftime, there is also a concussion substitution rule that could get kind of complicated, and we hope to never have to use it at any point. Down the wing, opportunity brewing for Richmond, and they earn a corner out of it as Bolduc gets by the defense. This will be corner number 2 for Richmond. Zaka Moran out to take it. 25-year-old Argentinian. In swinger with the left foot near the penalty spot. Headed away by Rosansky. Quinones out to it. Sends Renix on a run, but 2 white jerseys over there. Rivera thought he had some help with him. Turned to Sierakowski after the fact. Not on the same page. Those are 2 guys who will be, in all likelihood, with the League One side most of the season, so that chemistry will begin to develop at some point. Still the early stages here, match day 2 for the Revs. First game of the season for Richmond. Bolaños, back post. Too strong for Gonzalez, and Edwards out to corral it. Edwards, another one of the MLS guys, just in need of some minutes. Spent 4 years with Orlando City. No stranger to USL. Was with OCB when they were in USL in 2016 and 17. And he spent 2019 on loan to Loudoun United in USL Championship. All in all, 41 appearances at the USL level. It gives Joe Rice the night off. Joe Rice shined in the opener for New England against Fort Lauderdale. That 1-0 victory coming last week. Quinones forces Monticelli to go to the right side for Pavone. And Snyder points in favor of New England. Baldock unhappy with it. Mafla set to throw it back in. New England lost a possession battle 58-42 in game 1. They're leading it by the exact same margin right now, 58-42. Controlling the tempo of this game. We know from last year the identity of Richmond is more of a team that's willing to sit back, counter when they can, play over the top, and rely on the likes of Terzaghi to lead the charge in transition. Fitzgerald, the veteran, gets it back into play. Starting goalkeeper and goalkeeper coach now for the Richmond Kickers. It'll be very interesting to see what the split in time looks like as the season goes along between Akira Fitzgerald and Austin Aviza. Sawatsky had a high praise for Aviza. Went as far as saying that he doesn't think Aviza's a guy who's around USL League One too much longer, whether it's a jump to championship or a jump all the way to the MLS. He has that kind of talent. Quinones, harassed by Bolaños, dispossessed from behind, wins it back, persistent, gets it out to Presley. Presley shows some persistence, sends it in, and now headed away. Relentless on the right side from Quinones and Presley. Now New England tries to attack to the left side. Mafla, out wide, Rivera. Dances past Pavone. Rivera, end line, can't center it. Mafla recovers. Working on Pavone. All the way back now to O'Hearn. Pressured by Sierakowski. Finds it. Up top, Hernandez. Bolaños chips it past Edwards. Goal number 1 of the season for the Richmond Kickers goes to Bolaños. This is what we saw from them last year. They'll sit back and they'll kill you in transition. Very efficient, effective attack from the Kickers. And they play with a lead in the 35th minute. All starts with Falk at the back. Hernandez and Bolaños not on the same page there. Bolaños just took it from Hernandez, but I don't think Hernandez is going to go complain about that one because Bolaños took it, finished, and gave Richmond the lead. Scored twice in 15 appearances last year. Now 1 goal and 1 appearance this season. Gonzalez will get credit for the assist on that one. It was more of just having the ball stolen from him by Bolaños, but it all counts the same in the stat column. His first game with the Richmond Kickers. And now Bolaños gets a yellow card. Will New England play from behind? Last year they were actually a much better team when playing from behind than with the lead. The main game that sticks out last year is when they were on the road against North Texas. They were down 3 separate times in that game and continued to just come back. One of the more exciting games of the season. Renix working on Magalhaes. Presley. Back to Rosansky. Flag goes up on Renix. The first of 18 nationally televised regular season games airs Friday, April 30th on ESPN2. Watch as a budding rivalry writes a new chapter at one of the USL Championship's newest venues when Phoenix Rising FC welcomes San Diego Loyal SC at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's Phoenix at San Diego on ESPN2, Friday, April 30th, 10 p.m. Eastern. Sierakowski, the goal scorer last week for the Revs. Rivera goes down hard. Sierakowski playing a bit deeper. And Renix a bit more centrally than we saw last week. Now with a 1-0 lead, Richmond even more content to relinquish the possession. But can New England do anything with it? Rivera not going to do anything with it there. Six shots, 3 on target, 1 into the net for Richmond. 1 shot, none on target for New England. Renix out to Presley in space. He has been working extra here in this first half. They've been sending him on runs any chance they get, but unable to do anything this time either. Taken away by the goal scorer Bolaños. Maybe something the other way if they can break quickly, but Gonzalez can't get there on the pass from Terzaghi. That is how Richmond breaks you down. They'll wait for you to lose possession, will beat you in transition with a guy like Terzaghi pulling the strings. Sierakowski has help in the middle from Rosansky, but goes wide to Presley instead. Dooley's and O'Hearn. The week 1 player of the week, O'Hearn with it. Finds Rivera. Caicedo, Sierakowski. Presley fights for it. Gets it out wide to Quinones. Space if he can turn to get a cross in. He does. Back post, Rennick's waiting for it. Flicked on by Chrysler. And now cleared further forward, but only as far as O'Hearn by Bolduc. Rennick's. Never want to send it back toward your own goal. Fitzgerald was unsure whether he could pick it up or not. He does, and he gets the benefit of the doubt from Snyder. Heard the shouts from New England immediately. We saw a couple of times during last season that always fun, quirky, indirect free kick from the top of the 6-yard box. But not that time. Magalhaes is under immense pressure. Now they deal with a throw from near their own corner flag. Sierakowski got in the way of it. Monticelli set to get it back in, a 23-year-old who spent last year making 14 appearances and 11 starts for Orlando City B. Led that team in clearances, interceptions, aerials won, and blocks. It was a team that was under pressure defensively a lot. Did not have a ton of success last year in League One, but it was not the fault of Monticelli. Standout defender on that squad. Caicedo, an errant touch, goes down. Terzaghi stays on it strong. Still with it. Takes a shot from distance, and second time that Terzaghi has narrowly missed his first goal of this campaign after 10 last year. Caicedo just unsure of himself. Signed to the MLS roster this year on a free transfer. In need of minutes. Getting them here. Missed 2020 with a torn meniscus. Dooley's to O'Hearn. After no point of entry on the right side, they try Mafla on the left side. Rivera. Rennick's can't turn with Magalhaes supplying the pressure. Gonzalez to Terzaghi. Caicedo does better with it this time. Sierakowski in some space. Bolduc giving chase. Now Pavone fronting Rivera. Rivera gets a cross in. Dealt with by Chrysler. Back to Rivera. Mafla, end line. Into the awaiting hands of Fitzgerald. Mafla unhappy with himself, slaps the turf here at Gillette Stadium. Only a couple minutes remaining here in the first half. Joe Malfa with you on ESPN+. Game number 2 of the season for New England Revolution 2. They're 1-0 after the 1-0 victory against Fort Lauderdale last week. On the NL replay, you see close, but not close enough to drawing level here. The goal in minute 35 from Jonathan Bolaños, with the technically assist from Hernan Gonzalez. That just involved Gonzalez having the ball stolen from him by a teammate. Now, had Bolaños not turned that into a goal, might have gotten an earful from Gonzalez and Sawatsky, but he made it count in the end. Presley in the center now. Rosansky takes a deflection. Fitzgerald content to just wait. Milk some more clock off the dying moments here of this first half. While Fitzgerald gets it back into play, shout out to the watch party at Gus's, the historic soccer bar in Richmond, Virginia. Watch party among the Kicker fans. I'm sure next time Bolaños is in town, he might not have to pay for his own after scoring goal number 1 on the season for the Richmond Kickers. 2 minutes up on the board on the far side from the fourth official. No doubt due to the injury we saw to Ian Antley. Stoppage time brought to you by United Healthcare. Antley had to be subbed out in minute 25. Luke Pavone stepped in. Bolaños working on Dulis. 1 goal already. This time the center back gets the better of him. Terzaghi and Rosansky again. You wonder if the yellow card's going to come out of the pocket at some point. Even if it's something harmless like that from Terzaghi. That's 3 now. 3 times he's fouled Rosansky as the opposing number 32s go at it. Dulis takes his space. Too much of it, gives it away. Bolaños and Gonzalez combine to get that one to Falk. Now Bolaños in space. 2 teammates in the middle. Gonzalez and Falk. Can't get either of them, but gets a corner out of the deal. Final minute of stoppage time here in the first half. Imagine this corner will be the last opportunity for either side here in the half, whenever Richmond does get around to taking it. Delivery towards Edwards, somehow falls and it ends up in the back of the net. Don't know how it got there. Edwards dropped it. And then Monticelli, a gift. New England drops its guard in the last minute of the half. That one's a backbreaker. Clint PA set to say whatever he had to say about a 1-0 deficit in the locker room. Well, now it turns into a speech to a team that's down 2-0. And Monticelli scores in his first game with the Kickers. And that will be the halftime whistle. How's that for an end to the half for the Kickers? Possession heavily in favor of the Revs, 64-36, but 7 shots, 3 on target, 2 in the net for the Kickers. And they are in total control on the road here in their season opening match against New England Revolution 2. Back in a few moments here with the Gillette Halftime Show on ESPN+. Bolaños, Monticelli, the goal scorers for the Kickers. Joe Malfa still here with you on the Gillette Halftime Show. Let's take a break from the soccer for a moment and take a look at some nice stories from around League One as teams get involved with the community. Starting with the Richmond Kickers. Olex Anderson is from St. Vincent, and he just scored for their national team in the most recent round of World Cup qualifying. It's an island in need of help after a volcanic eruption. The Players Initiative, United in Solidarity, is raising money for supplies for the Islanders and hoping for any support you can offer. You can visit the GoFundMe page to donate money that will be used for supplies under the hashtag VinceyStrong. Nice thing going on from the Richmond Kickers. Nice thing going on from South Georgia Tormenta FC as well, as Forest Heights Pharmacy hosts a vaccine clinic at the home opener. Fans who show their vaccine card at the gate will receive a Bolt the Ibis sticker and $5 off a ticket if you're already vaccinated. If you're looking to get vaccinated, that pharmacy will be administering the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine inside the gates at the north end of the stadium and will schedule a follow-up for the second shot. The home opener vaccine clinic is free to the public and open for walk-ups starting when the gates open at 6 p.m. And hey, if you're lucky, you meet Bolt, you get one of those stickers. Everybody happy at the park in South Georgia. Back to the soccer now. A lot of new faces in new places around League One. One of them, Jake Keegan. He leaves the championship-winning Greenville Triumph, where he has scored 14 goals over the last 2 seasons to provide a much-needed offensive boost for the Flamingos up at forward Madison. They've struggled offensively over the last couple of years, and they hope he can help as long as he has Gomez with him. Carlos Gomez makes that trip up to Madison with Keegan, steadying presence in the midfield. Good distributor, good defensively. He can make it happen offensively, as you see here. Those two guys will be immense for forward Madison this season. But hey, not the only exchange between forward Madison and Greenville. Going the other way from Madison to Greenville, maybe they can share a real estate agent. Don Smart, he has been a staple up there for the fans in Madison over the last couple of years, provided many goals, many assists. They've struggled offensively, but anything they did do offensively, odds are Don Smart made it happen. A big boost for Greenville as they have to deal with losing Gomez and Keegan. Maybe someone you see in tonight's game, Neil Vignals, going from Tormenta to Richmond. The midfielder supplied a couple of goals, and they were beauties at that. Known more for his distribution and fits very well with Richmond's system. Their team that likes to get out quick on the break and counter-strike you, and he can make it happen. The last one, Azad Liadi, goes from Tucson to Tormenta. So they'll lose Vignals. They get another face from around League One. And it's a very familiar face around those parts. He went to Georgia Southern. He played last year at FC Tucson. 3 goals in 15 games. His best game of the year actually came against Tormenta. So he is back home. We mentioned it throughout the night so far. New England won the opener against Fort Lauderdale. We showed you a couple of glimpses of that game. Here's a look at the full highlights. It was a match that was controlled heavily early on by Fort Lauderdale, and they had a few things just go against them. New England caught a few lucky breaks, but finally, New England able to break through after they collected themselves at the halftime break, came out looking like a totally different team. Fujiwara found the newly acquired Ryan Sierakowski, and he made no mistake. The Michigan State product who spent last year with Real Monarchs after a year with Timbers 2 in USL Championship opens his tally on the season for the New England Revolution. That game took a few more turns, though, in the second half. Fort Lauderdale, you saw the other post they hit. Well, they weren't done hitting the post. It was a big night from Joe Rice in goal and a big night from the woodwork as well. Sometimes better to be lucky than good, and sometimes it's good to be both. New England was a little bit of both in the second half. Here's another look at the post as Joe Rice just couldn't get there. Fort Lauderdale couldn't put it away. Weather delay in the second half of that game helped New England compose themselves as well, and they come away with all 3 points in a 1-0 victory. That was the first game of the USL League One season. Plenty of action coming in USL Championship as well, as the first of 18 nationally televised regular season games comes in a couple of weeks on ESPN2 as Phoenix Rising welcomes San Diego.
San Diego takes the lead.
goes from around USL League One. Two teams opening their season today. You saw the first half of Richmond's opener so far, and a little later on tonight, South Georgia Tormenta also gets going. So by the end of the evening, 4 teams will have started the season 1/3 of the way to everyone in League One. And the player of the week for Week 1, no team of the week, because only one game would have pretty much been entirely New England. Player of the week is Sean O'Hearn. You'd love to see a defender get it, and he had quite the day. 7 clearances, won 5 of his 6 duels, 3 tackles, and most passes in the game with 44. There'll be plenty of action on ESPN2 on Sunday, May 16th at 7 p.m. for the first ever nationally televised match in USL League One history. Greenville Triumph, Union Omaha, the title game that we were supposed to have at the end of last season. We get it, and this year, teams again hoping to get into the title game with a different wrinkle. We're getting back to what we wanted to do last year before COVID put a wrench into everybody's plans. Back to the 28-match format, back to 12 teams taking the pitch, and teams to get to that 28-game mark will play everybody at least twice. Well, there'll be 3 teams they play at least 4 times. The regular season ends on October 30th. Top 2 teams earn a bye, and they will all hope to play in a title game right before Thanksgiving. Now, bear with me here on this one. Concussion substitutes were instilled in the new edition of the FIFA laws. There's maybe a dozen bullet points as far as all the technicalities of this rule. We boiled it down to what we thought were the 2 most useful, and that's that teams are permitted up to 2 additional subs if a player appears to have a concussion, and in that case, the opposing team would also be awarded an additional sub. We hope we never, ever have to see this come into play. We're all for player safety. Great rule put in by FIFA. If it comes to pass, I will parse through the nitty-gritty details for you, but again, hopefully we never have to see that in the upcoming schedule or the whole season. Looking ahead, 3 more teams making their home debuts in the coming weeks. Richmond home against Greenville, Omaha home against South Georgia, and the champs from 2018, North Texas hosting Fort Lauderdale. And Fort Lauderdale's 3rd match of the season already early on. And those matches, 6:30, 7, 8:30, all staggered for you, so you could catch at least a bit of all of them. And the other 6 home openers, besides the ones we will have seen by that point, here you go. From May 1st to May 22nd, by that point, everyone in League One will have started their home slate. Toronto will be in Arizona to start on May 22nd for their first home game. They hope to be back north of the border at some point in the summer, as COVID laws will be monitored by the Canadian government and by USL League One. But back to New England's home opener in a few minutes. One more break until we get the second half of action between the Richmond Kickers and New England Revolution 2. Almost time for half number 2. And the Richmond Kickers have a 2-goal lead over New England. Joe Malfa here with you on ESPN Plus here in the Gillette halftime show. It all came together in the end for Richmond on a really odd goal that was scored by Juan Pablo Monticelli. Put this team up 2-0. Mentioned it before. Here it is again. Gus's Bar and Grill, Richmond, Virginia. Courtesy of the Richmond Kickers, we get this photo as the fans get to take in game number 1 of the season for the Richmond Kickers. Devoted fans out there happy to see these highlights to get things rolling in 2021, brought to you by Gillette. In minute 14, it was the first real good opportunity of the season for Terzaghi. A quick turn volley, but Edwards there to make the save. Ricocheted off of a couple of heads. Caicedo, Magalhaes, Foles, Terzaghi. But Edwards there to make the stop. Later in the half, Falk finds Bolaños. They were dangerous on the counterattack and through the wings. Bolaños busy all first half. Nobody there to put away the cross, but getting closer and closer. Warning shots from Richmond. Then in minute 35, Bolaños ends up with it after Falk sends it forward. Hernan Gonzalez had it taken away. He'll get the assist though because Bolaños pops it over Edwards for goal number 1 on the season for the Richmond Kickers. Another look at this one. Gonzalez picked his head up, was thinking about shooting or something. Looked back down, it was gone, and Bolaños put it in for the goal. 45+2. Half was just about set to end. Corner 1 by the Kickers, and somehow this one, Edwards comes in, he hits it, and it goes right down to the feet of Juan Pablo Monticelli. Take another look at it. He was going for the grab, never got it. Looked like he was trying to dodge Hernan Gonzalez. Falls to Monticelli, and Monticelli didn't even get like a clean shot on it. It just sort of ricocheted off his shins and in for the goal. They'll take it any way they can get it. That's 2 goals in the first half. Stats brought to you by Geico for the Richmond Kickers. 8 shots to 2, 4 on target. They controlled everything but the possession, but if you talk to Darren Sawatsky, he will say time and time again, he doesn't really care about the possession because it all boils down to what you do with it. New England's done nothing with it. Richmond has scored twice with it. And the team set to begin half number 2. There was 1 substitution made in the first half. That was Ian Antley going down with a leg injury, and Luke Pavone checking in. Thomas Snyder waiting to blow the whistle to begin half number 2. Hernan Gonzalez, newly acquired, set to get it into play. Underway in half number 2, and it's a 2-goal lead for the Richmond Kickers. Joe Malfa with you on ESPN Plus here at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. New England played much better in the second half last week than the first, and they'll be hoping to duplicate that performance today. Long way to come back, though. Last week they went into the locker room and were not trailing. This time, a 2-goal deficit to erase. A lot easier to adjust at the half when you bent but didn't break. This time broken twice. Zaka Moran unhappy with the call. Ryan Sierakowski draws the foul. He got the goal last week for the Revs. Looking to spark something offensively in the second half. Dulis to Rosansky and back. And again, this high pressure from Richmond just forcing turnovers at the back from New England. Quinones, though, puts in a good challenge. Colby Quinones got better as last season went along. Just turned 18 3 days ago. Played all of last season as a 17-year-old. 14 matches, 13 starts. And every time we heard Clint P.A. talk about him, it was like a proud dad. One of the youngest players on the roster, and he continued to get better and better every week. Hernan Gonzalez does win the corner. And New England will hope to deal with this one better than they did at the end of half number 1. Gonzalez goes short. Back out to Bolaños. Better angle. Sent in. Edwards. This time he holds on to it cleanly. And he gets an elbow in there with Bolduc in the way. Rivera to Renix, who's playing much deeper than we saw him in the first half, but that a product of defending the corner, jogging up to his striker position once more. Down the back they go again, New England looking to find some alley to attack. But Richmond not missing a beat from where we saw them last year. Darren Sawatsky made note of the fact that New England might have an edge this week in terms of the fitness, having already played a match. But in terms of chemistry and in terms of the playing styles, he felt good about the way his team matched up. A seam found to Presley. In the box, goes down, no call. Foot race on the far side between Quinones and Bolaños, won by the goal scorer. Opened the scoring in minute 25. Back to Terzaghi. Once again for Bolaños. Rivera bothered from behind by Falk, takes his space. And taken down. That'll save things for New England after the pass went astray from Renix. Take a look at the NL replay of something that happened earlier. After that corner kick, I mentioned a little elbow thrown in there from Edwards. They get hit a lot, and sometimes they're the ones dishing it out. O'Hearn, the Georgetown product. Finds Caicedo into Presley. Monticelli, strong, wins it from Sierakowski. Before the goal was even scored by Monticelli in the 45th minute +2, he had been having a very good day defensively, and showcasing why he was plucked from the Orlando City B roster after that team was disbanded last year, or at the end of last year. Continuing to show it here in the second half. Big body defender, not afraid of getting in there for a challenge. Last year, Monticelli, again, started 11 matches for OCB and 14 appearances and led the team in clears, interceptions, aerials 1, and blocks. It was 10th in League 1 in clearances. Bolduck, no other teammates in the area. Rivera playing out wide on the left, different from what we saw from him last year, more of a central midfielder. Lays it off to Caicedo. But with Caicedo in the fold today, getting minutes from the MLS squad, and Jake Rosansky, new to the team from last year. The option there for PA to do what he is doing and push Rivera out wider. Perhaps Rivera tucks back in once Caicedo is back with the MLS squad, but for now, utilizing his skill set on the left wing. Space on the right side for Quinones. Presley there with him. Finds Presley going towards the corner flag. But a harmless ball across, out for a goal kick. That's what it has been today so far from New England. They've had the build-up, they've had the possession, but in the final third, just nothing there. 2 shot attempts, none on target, despite 63% of the possession. Clint PA trying to figure out what button to push to get things back on track here for the Revs. On a clear but chilly day in Foxborough, Massachusetts. That one takes a fortuitous bounce for New England. Mafla down the wing, gets by Chrysler. In front, Moves it off of last. Monticelli. It'll be a corner kick for New England. Snyder might have a chat here with Monticelli, who was very demonstrative after that call went against Richmond. Look at the NL replay. Mafla found some space. Renix, always dangerous in the area. JetBlue corner kick number 2 for New England. First here in the second half. Sent in towards the back post. Headed up. Renix taking it down. Launched forward by Moran. And Terzaghi on the run now from Bolaños. Working on O'Hearn. Shielding off the youngster. Has help on the right side, but goes centrally to Falk, not on the same page. Arms raised to the sky from Terzaghi. As that counterattack goes by the wayside. Rivera now quickly the other way. Working on Pavone. Chrysler there. Rosansky keeps it alive for the Revs. Quinones wanted it down the wing from Caicedo. The veteran goes back instead. Mafla. Renix checking. But again, Richmond maintaining its shape. Surging ball into Presley, cleared away by Chrysler. Falk in space for Bolaños. Through 55 minutes, Darren Sawatsky has to be incredibly happy with what he's seen defensively from the Kickers. Offensively, too, with the 2 goals, but more so defensively, not allowing anything from New England. Just suffocating at the back, and that's even with Ian Antley going down in the 25th minute with a leg injury. Is subbed out for Luke Pavone. Rivera floats one over the top. Monticelli shielding off Presley. Quinones sends in and over the top out for a goal kick. Own the moment in 2021 with the latest Clear personal audio products. The USL and Clear Audio have partnered to offer fans a chance to win headphones designed to get you ready for the match. Visit USLLeague1.com/sweepstakes and enter code ClearWatch21. That is CLEERWATCH21 by April 30th to enter. Akira Fitzgerald has had to do nothing today besides take a few goal kicks. 2 shots, neither on target from the Revs. He's been a goalkeeper of the year finalist in League One, so if he has to spring into action, obviously the kicker's confident in him. But they like to keep it the way it is right now. If the other team doesn't have any shots on goal, odds are they're not scoring a goal. And right now with a 2-goal lead, that is music to the ears of Darren Sawatsky. Over the top, looking for Presley. New England growing impatient. They like to build up, use the flanks, but Richmond forcing them to play direct. Turnover, though. Rosansky in space. Quinones running with him. Sierakowski calling forward in the middle. Shouts for a handball. They might have had a case. Ends up just as a corner kick instead. Take a look at the NL replay. Quinones lofts it up. Monticelli. Close. That arm was tucking in towards the chest. Big time gray area there. Richmond gets the benefit of the doubt. JetBlue corner kick number 3 goes back to Quinones, and it's blocked. Wasted opportunity from the Revs. Sato out for Rosansky. And again, just the pressure and the cohesion defensively from Richmond, forcing New England all the way back to Edwards as we approach the hour mark at Gillette Stadium. Sierakowski has it go behind him. Took an odd skip off the turf. Quinones. Mafla gets to the loose ball. Taken down from behind by Moran. Free kick in a dangerous area for New England. Right on the outskirts of where you could take a shot. If someone is confident enough, maybe they have a go. We'll take this moment to look one more time at that handball that was not called. Looking at it again, that certainly seemed to be one that Richmond got away with on the NL replay. This, though, no man's land for a free kick for the Revs. You'd like this one maybe 4 yards closer or 4 yards further back to make the decision that much easier as far as whether it's a cross or a shot. If either Mafla or Rosansky are really feeling it, they might go for it, but the body language of Rosansky suggests he might loft this one to the right side of the 6-yard box with the players gathering there for the Revs. Quinones open on the right flank as well if they want to go that route and have the young right back whip in a low cross from the right side instead. Lofted, top of the 6, over everybody's head, out for a goal kick. Clock reads 60. Richmond 2, New England nothing. Goals from Bolaños and Monticelli for the kickers. Another look at the NL replay. That one just over the heads of Renix and Magalhaes. Plenty of activity going on there for the Revs behind the NL boards. Joe Malfa with you on ESPN Plus. Game 2 of the season for the Revs. Game 1 for Richmond. Sierakowski sends Renix down the wing, collides with Magalhaes, wins the throw. And Magalhaes now injured, with Antley already out of the equation from an earlier injury. Imagine that this is the last thing Darren Sawatsky wanted to see. Magalhaes holding the left shoulder, but he is quick to get up, thankfully. Took an awkward spill on that left side. Rivera trying to find some space. Can't complete the exchange with Renix. Caicedo pressured by Bolaños. Already seen Caicedo with one bad giveaway in the midfield like that, but this time dances away from Bolaños and finds Renix. Moran with a heavy tackle in, but a clean one. And now on the break, it's Bolduc. 3-on-2. Bolduc with Terzaghi and Gonzalez. Takes a deflection. Shouts for a handball as Dooley's comes in, rather Caicedo. And maybe a one-for-one exchange there. No handball on the other end for New England, and no handball on this side for Richmond. We'll take a look at that one when we get another stoppage of the play. See if Thomas Snyder just evened things up with non-calls. Gonzalez to Bolaños. Attack on again for Richmond as they look to put this one away. Hernan Gonzalez dances around a defender, but shielded off well. Now plenty of space for Rivera. This game opening up. Rivera going at Pavone. Rennick's with him, as is Sierakowski. Takes a shot himself, and that one wide of everything. They'll slow down the pace momentarily. Take another look back on the NL replay at that non-call on the other end. Coming in, Caicedo, a close one. And now Rivera on the other end. Had Rennick, had Sierakowski, but just got it all wrong in the end himself. Brzezinski can't get it through to Presley. Monticelli steps to it strongly again. And Caicedo gets a shove in on Bolaños. New England, the first team to play 2 games, but they'll have their fair share of time off after this. They've got 25 minutes to leave a better taste in their mouths before that long layoff. Terzaghi out to Bolaños, and he's taken down. Snyder was going to let things go, but the flag did pop up in the end on Bolaños. Rather, that was Monticelli working up from the left side, and Bolaños stepping back to cover for him. Another collision here on the other end. Sets up New England with another attacking half free kick as Caicedo takes a moment to gather himself. Rivera threads it through to Mafla in the corner, working on Bolduc. Now Pavone comes to help. Is it out for a corner or a throw? Obstructed from view down there. It'll be a corner for New England. JetBlue corner kick number 4 for the Rebs. Nothing doing on the first 3. Got to start capitalizing on opportunities like this. Late in the game, Brzezinski headed away once more. Quinones, no chance at that one. Subs prepping to come in. 1 for Richmond, 1 for New England. Not quite yet. Magalhaes. Camping under it, Quinones. Now he has to deal with it again, but Bolaños can't get the handle. Looks like on the far side now, 2 guys shedding the warm-ups for Richmond. Hernan Gonzalez. Can't get by O'Hearn. Terzaghi holding his face. Now Snyder will stop the play. Terzaghi slow to get up. Take another look at the NL replay at the very tail end of this one. Caicedo got the forearm up, it appeared, in the face of Terzaghi. 2 subs coming in for New England. We see the pro debut of Michel Costa. And then Hikaru Fujiwara, who had the assist on New England's lone goal last week, checks in. Michel Costa da Silva, the first Santander substitution. Justin Renix gives way for that one. And then Quinones out for Fujiwara. No foul was called in the end, just a drop ball as Snyder stopped play for the head injury to Terzaghi and waves Terzaghi back on. Out wide for Rivera. Costa da Silva there next to him. Gives it to Caicedo instead. Fujiwara. Again, Richmond just forcing New England to go around the perimeter. Not giving them anything easy, defending with everybody behind the ball. Rivera into Mafla, but just out of his reach. The two guys collide. They point the way of Richmond, and now things getting chippy. New England wanted a penalty in their favor. The call goes the other way in favor of Richmond. And then tempers flare. Card comes out of the pocket of Snyder. Zaka Moran on the ground after it all. Curious to see which way the yellow cards go after this, after the melee, here in minute 70. Yellow card is shown to Mafla for the initial challenge. Doesn't appear there'll be any more for the aftermath of it, as the card gets tucked back in Snyder's pocket. Another look at the NL replay. All started here, the challenge in from Mafla. He had the Revs players shouting, mainly Fujiwara. They wanted it going their way. Pavone gets right in with a shove. Ditches the protective mask. I don't know if that was the wisest thing. As tempers started to flare, he takes off the mask that was protecting his face. But everything turns out all right in the end as cooler heads prevail. Michel Costa da Silva making his pro debut. See if he can push the tempo for New England. Gets it back from Caicedo. Hernan Gonzalez sprays out wide for Bolduc. Working on O'Hearn. Gets by him initially, but O'Hearn does well to recover. Still no help there for Bolduc. And it's just out for a New England throw. Now the two substitutions from Richmond. Olix Anderson making his way in, as is Stanley Alves. Substitutions brought to you by Santander. Bolaños, right now, his goal, the game winner, opened up the scoring. Hernan Gonzalez gives way in his Richmond debut. Had the assist, kind of, on that goal from Bolaños, as Bolaños just stole the ball from a teammate, but made it work in the end. And with Olix Anderson coming back into the match, chance to remind you of the United in Solidarity Players Initiative to raise money for St. Vincent. Anderson from the island, affected now by a volcanic eruption. Played for their national team in World Cup qualifiers in the last round of qualifiers and actually scored for them. But now, going to do some good for the community in his home. Anywhere on the Richmond Kickers social media page and website, you could find the links to the GoFundMe if you are willing and able to help out. A great cause being run by the Kickers. Michel gets it to Rivera, who is playing a bit more centrally. Fujiwara has space, has help, takes it himself, blocked by Chrysler. And now he loses it. Almost had too many options there for Fujiwara. Wasn't sure what to do with it. In the end, takes the shot. Two guys to his left, one guy to his right. Calls his own number. Has it blocked by Chrysler. Back on it, though, now, Fujiwara. Some space for Rivera. Back to Michel. Out wide to Presley. Sends it across. Sierakowski can't get there. Chrysler does. And it's out for another corner kick. Perhaps the two substitutions for New England sparking something. Michel, Fujiwara, both in the mix. Fujiwara out to take the jet blue corner kick. New England has not been particularly effective on the corners so far today. No goal-scoring opportunities created from the corner flag. Perhaps that changes here. Fujiwara, nope. Magalhaes heads it away. New England still looking for the first shot on target of the match for them. 4 total shots, none of them on target. On the flip side, Richmond 8 shots, 4 on target. Rivera lofts it in. Sierakowski ranging under it, but so is Fitzgerald. Another mass substitution preparing on the sideline for New England. 3 guys standing over there. Those would be their final 3 substitutions of the match with a quarter hour remaining. Terzaghi. Nobody with him. He's taking his own space and drawing a foul. You see Snyder counting. A persistent infringement yellow card to Caicedo. Nothing too sinister about that challenge itself, but they've been adding up throughout the course of the day for Luis Caicedo. Snyder had enough. Terzaghi was working 1-on-3, but gifted a free kick after the challenge by Caicedo. And here come all those subs for New England. Rivera, Mafla, the first 2 to check out. Caicedo, the third. So his last bit of action getting that yellow card. Michael Sekulius checks in, as did Ryan Spalding. And the third, Noel Buck, got the start last week. Noel Buck, one of those Revolution Academy players. He just turned 16 2 weeks ago, and has since made his debut as a starter last week and now as a sub for the Revs. Alves to Terzaghi, wide open on the near side. Bolduc. Terzaghi tried to pull the trigger but was forced back instead to Pavone. Beautiful overlap with Bolduc. Pavone sends it in. Alves and Terzaghi jump. Neither of them get to it. Headed away for the moment. Still alive. Bolduc chipped it in. Almost got it through to Terzaghi, if not for the last-minute intervention from O'Hearn. Moran. Bolduc powering through Michel. attempt at the switch from Pavone didn't get it far enough. Terzaghi can't find the feet of of Anderson. Alves working on Presley now. Buck able to get it away right in front of Terzaghi. 2020 league MVP getting up from the ground after putting in the challenge. And now the foul called against Moran. And going to the pocket once again for one foul too many is Thomas Snyder. Moran has been very active, the wrecking ball in the middle of the field for Richmond. We've seen Hernan Gonzalez showing off why his nickname is the Tank, and we've seen Zaka Moran showing off why his nickname is the Machine. The two new Argentinians into the fold, joining forces with Emiliano Terzaghi this year. Spalding gets it. On the ground, Pavone. Play continues for the moment, but now with the head injury, Snyder will stop it. And Pavone already wearing that protective face mask. Ten minutes of regulation to go. There'll be a drop ball here. New England continues its attack. Spalding looking for Sekulius, but sent out by Pavone. This second half, Richmond has really just sat back there and tried to defend with all they can. Totally conceding possession to New England. But they've played such an incredible game defensively, maintaining their shape. Michel trying to change that. Finds Fujiwara. Over to Presley. In the box now. Shot towards the far post. Well wide of it. Second half possession, 69-31 in favor of New England. But still not a shot on target from New England. Up to 6 total shots. A few of them blocked, a couple of them off target. None of them on frame. These goal kicks, the main work that Fitzgerald has had to do all day in net for Richmond. Reminder that Moran, the recipient of that last yellow card. Baldock. Richmond trying to see if they can't put this one away earlier. Erase all chance of New England making a comeback. Cliche as it is, 2-goal lead, the most dangerous, especially late in a game. Don't want to give New England any life and have to deal with a few dicey minutes at the end now with a 1-goal lead instead of a 2-goal lead. If Richmond could find a third, especially with the way their defense has looked, you can go ahead and fill out the final result in pen in your book. New England maybe a bit fortunate to come away with 3 points last week against Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale hit a couple of posts, but New England able to tighten up down the stretch, get the goal from Sierakowski, come away with the 3 points. After this, with a quirky schedule, they will not be playing again until May 12th, a Wednesday night against Greenville Triumph, so nearly a month off after being the first team to 2 games, playing on back-to-back Saturdays in this staggered start to the USL League One season. Reminder on the format this year, 28 games again, the way it was supposed to be last year. 28 games, every team plays each other at least twice. But each team will play at least 3 opponents an extra 2 times for a grand total of 4. Top 6 teams will make the playoffs. Top 2 seeds will have a bye. Regular season ends October 30th. And the hope is to have the title game played in the week before Thanksgiving. Action, though, not done tonight in League One. Coming up at 7, Tormenta and Fort Lauderdale. Fujiwara out to Presley. Overlap from Sekulius. Splits the difference between Fujiwara and Presley, which allows Richmond to get rid of it and regroup. Full slate next weekend as well here in League One as more teams join the fray. At the end of tonight, 4 of the 12 will have played. Third of the way there to getting everybody in action here in the 2021 season. Richmond, Omaha, and North Texas each have their own home openers next week. Fujiwara over the top. Sekulius could not get there before Fitzgerald. Richmond a bit more of a regular schedule the next couple of weeks, playing each of the next 3 weekends, but then they have their own 2-week break. Michel goes down. Terzaghi picks his head up, looks out wide, can't get it over the head of Spalding to Bolduc. But cleaning up the mess is Falk. Keeps it alive. Pavone over the top, looking for Falk. Finds some space. O'Hearn out to meet him. Falk sticking with it. O'Hearn wins it, though. O'Hearn, another strong day at the office after winning League One Player of the Week last week for his efforts. Moran backtracks and wins it from Presley. He has been tremendous defensively for Richmond, that defensive midfielder. Playing a key role next to Falk. Those two guys will need to form quite the bond, according to Sawatsky, as the season goes along. Working that double pivot ahead of the back line. Time wearing thin for New England. Sekulius dispossessed by Moran again. He is on a yellow card. He's got to be careful, but Moran not letting up. Still throwing the body around and winning the ball. Springs Bolduc the other way, in front, but too much in front of Terzaghi. Anderson keeps it alive near the corner flag. Richmond looking to put it away once and for all. Cut out by Buck. The flag goes up on the near side. On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, and Rodney Marsh, as well as a brand new USL show coming Tuesday, April 20th. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League. Sirius XM FC, channel 157 on your Sirius XM radio and the Sirius XM app. Sekulius switches out to Presley. Bodies forward, gets a cross in, but Magalhaes gets rid of it. Absolutely nothing allowed at the back from Richmond. And again, that is with losing Ian Antley in the 25th minute of this one to a leg injury. Yellow card shown to Dulis for his challenge near midfield. fans, follow New England Revolution 2 and the rest of USL League 1 all season long on ESPN+, home of the USL, MLS, Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Join the more than 12 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+, and watch League 1 live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Alves trying to get it from Presley, but the winger for the Revs able to win it and earn the throw. Presley moved around a bit these 2 weeks for New England. He was a winger offensively last year. They've been trying him out at left back where he played last week. But with Christian Mafla in the fold from the MLS side, he had to move back to his right wing spot this week. Curious to see how Clint P.A. deploys Presley as this season goes along. Something they'll deal with all year, as will the likes of North Texas, you would imagine, and possibly Toronto FC, all the two sides in USL League 1, with the player movement up and down. Up from the academy, down from the MLS side. Great opportunity for these teams to get more players, more minutes. Clint P.A. talked about how difficult it might be at times to integrate new guys and keep the chemistry the same, but at the end of the day, he said it boils down to one thing. As long as guys come in from the academy or from the MLS side with a desire to win, he can live with the little mistakes that are going to happen during the game because of a lack of cohesion. What he can't tolerate is guys who come in just to get their minutes and don't care about winning. At the end of the day, they want to win ball games, and they did a good job of it at the end of last season down the stretch, wanting to build on it this year. Buck towards the far post. Not quite going to count as the first shot on target from New England either, as we are in minute 90 here at Gillette Stadium. Player down is Monticelli, who scored the second goal of this game for the Kickers. Into the United Healthcare stoppage time. 4 minutes shown on the board as Darren Sawatsky, in his trademark all black, watches on as they look to get the victory. Quick shout out to his in-laws, Ron and Mary out in California. Biggest fans on the west coast of the Richmond Kickers. They have to be happy out there with what they've seen today. And Coach Sawatsky's wife has to start getting ready. She makes victory cookies for the team, and she's already been taking orders for what they wanted. Darren Sawatsky noted that a few players already had very specific cookie requests from his wife for the victory cookies, and they're 3 minutes away from their first batch. Sekulius and line. Back post. Presley heads it in the center. Alves nods it away. Kept alive by Rosansky. Still no shot on target from New England. Presley centers it. Magalhaes clears it out for a corner kick. Perhaps one final JetBlue corner kick for the Revs as they look to keep this one interesting to the end, but headed away immediately at the back by Chrysler. Fujiwara into Sekulius, but nothing doing once again for the Revs. Advantage played after the challenge from Terzaghi. Michel goes back. Rosansky picks the head up, launches out to the left for Spalding. Great first touch, but not a great second touch. Miscommunication between he and Sekulius. Now over the top once more and into the waiting arms of Fitzgerald. Things getting chippy again as Magalhaes goes flying. "90 seconds left of the 4 minutes awarded. Anderson, pressure, chips it towards goal and in. The exclamation point for Alex Anderson. And a great moment for him too. Heavy heart, heavy mind with everything going on in St. Vincent. And he nets the clincher here in the final minute for his first goal of 2021. 3 goals as Richmond heading to 3 points. You can see the wristband on the right hand with the St. Vincent flag for Alex Anderson. Great moment for him at the end of this one. Look at the NL replay, just took a weird hop on O'Hearn. He tried to head it back to Edwards, but couldn't quite get it there. And Anderson puts it home. One good last chance to plug what Richmond is doing to raise money for St. Vincent. Their United in Solidarity movement to raise money for St. Vincent. You can visit their Twitter page or their website to find the GoFundMe link if you are able to donate to help out the victims of the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent. One final substitution brought to you by Santander as Vickers checks in for a cameo as Terzaghi goes to the sideline. Final whistle coming at any moment from Snyder. Presley earns one more corner if Snyder allows him to take it. Brought to you by JetBlue. He will allow them to take it. But as they have been all night, the Kickers cleanly defend it. Spaulding sends one more in. Headed over the goal. And that might be how this one ends once Fitzgerald puts it back into play with the goal kick. Snyder won't even make him take the goal kick. Full time here at Gillette Stadium. The Richmond Kickers win game number 1, 3-0 against New England Revolution 2. Final score brought to you by Dan O'Brien Automotive Group. 3 goals for 3 points for the Kickers. Stellar defensive outing, holding New England to 0 shots on target. We saw the identity that we saw last year from these Kickers. They sat back and let the opponent take all the possession they wanted, and they were lethal in transition in the counterattack. Darren Sawatsky, very pleased with what he saw today from the Kickers, I'm sure. Man of the match brought to you by United Healthcare goes to O'Hearn. Another strong outing from the defender up until that final moment. He was the Week 1 League One Player of the Week. And now this week, the man of the match for the Revs in their home opener. We go way back to minute 14 now for the Michelob Ultra save of the match. Earl Edwards Jr. down from the MLS side to get some minutes on the save here from the shot by Terzaghi. League One MVP last year with 10 goals, almost had his first, but Edwards gets in the way of it. And Richmond comes away with all 3 of the points. Play of the match also brought to you by NL Replay. Bolduc chips it in. O'Hearn flicks it away. Got the save of the match, you got the play of the match. And now we'll take one more look at the highlights here from Gillette Stadium. Brought to you by Gillette in this 3-0 Richmond Kickers victory. The goal scoring started in the 35th minute. Hernan Gonzalez had it here, picked his head up, thinking about what to do with it before he can make up his mind. Bolaños takes it away and scores himself. One of the easiest assists that Gonzalez will ever have because he didn't have to do anything. Bolaños just took it, celebrates, 1-0 Kickers. This one, after the misplay from Edwards, just put in accidentally almost by Monticelli. Never got a full shot kicking motion. It hit off his right shin and was able to make it count in his debut for the Kickers. Defensively, some good moments as well for the Kickers. Moran gets involved here. Yellow card awarded to Mafla after this challenge. Good bit of defending. Ended up in a shoving match between both teams. In the 92nd minute, the end of it all. Olex Anderson chips it home. 3-0 win for 3 points, and a great moment for Anderson with a heavy heart to find the back of the net. His teammates all there behind the goal to celebrate as well. A look at the full-time stats brought to you by Geico. 3-0 victory for the Kickers. The glaring number, besides the 0 under goals for New England, the 0 in shots on target. Stellar defensive outing from Richmond. New England had the possession, could not do anything with it at all. Big 3 points to start the season for a Richmond Kickers team that was not satisfied with the way last year ended. They had a chance to make the title game on the last day of the season, ended up tumbling down to 4th place. But they end up starting with a win today. More action still to come here in League One tonight and this season. Nationally televised match for the first time in league history on ESPN2, Greenville-Omaha, May 16th at 7 p.m. And just kicking off in a couple of moments, South Georgia Tormenta hosting Fort Lauderdale CF to continue this week 2 of League One play. At the end of the day, the Richmond Kickers continue the trend that we saw last year. Each of these teams won the road games in their matchups against each other. That's how we start 2021. New England Revolution 2, 1-1 on the season. The Kickers start with 3 points. Full-time score brought to you by Dan O'Brien Automotive Group. Joe Malfa here with you on ESPN Plus, signing off. Go head over to that Tormenta Fort Lauderdale game on ESPN Plus. Richmond 3, New England 2-0 here in this one.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League, League One, cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League, League One.